for being so eager now after skipping the Republican primary debates this election. But without clear answers from Biden's team, we now face a very real possibility that a presidential election could come to pass, Trace, without a televised presidential debate this year.
Chanley Painter, live for us in New York. Chanley, thank you. Let's bring in California GOP Chairwoman Jessica Milan Patterson, along with Republican strategist and attorney Mehek Cook. Thank you both for coming on. Well, here's MSNBC's logic. Let's put this up on the screen. Trump's preoccupation with debating Biden reaches a new level. Donald Trump is desperate to participate in presidential debates. Joe Biden would be justified in turning him down. Justified how, Jessica?
The liberal media is certainly trying to give him a pass, but the ball's in his course. Anytime, any place is what the president said. And it's pretty clear why he doesn't want to debate, right? What would he talk about? Our crisis at the border, Biden inflation and the economic crisis, our school crisis, his disastrous foreign policy. There is nothing that this president can tout as a success. It's pretty clear why he doesn't want to debate.
Yeah, Mehek, I mean, it's a very good point because, you know, you really do. When you debate, you want your strong suits to be up there, and that's what you kind of focus on. But when you've got a lot of baggage, it is really tough, especially when you're 81 and there's some question about, you know, your cognitive ability. It's tough to get up there and go toe to toe.
You're right, Trace. And Biden is acting like a dictator. What do dictators do? They lock up their adversaries and then they prohibit debate. That's exactly what Biden is doing through the use of mainstream media and then through liberal DAs. They're trying to lock up President Trump. They're trying to stop this debate. And what do Americans want? Americans want the bedrock of democracy, and that is debate. That's freedom of speech. That's the ability for us to hear directly from Joe Biden. And he is preventing that. He is a direct threat to our democracy, Trace.
Right. I mean, you know, they talk about, oh, Trump didn't debate in the primaries. He was up by 35 points. This one, Trump is up. Biden would, you would think, need to debate. We talked about this in Common Sense. Eric Adams inviting Texas Governor Greg Abbott to sleep in a shelter. Watch.
I'm going to offer him a stay in one of the Hercs so he can see what he has created.
It's kind of embarrassing. I mean, it really is when you think you're blaming the governor of Texas for the migrant surge in New York, and there's no blame at all for the president of the United States.
Governor Abbott has been on the front lines with National Guardsmen are helping out our Border Patrol agents. He hardly needs a lecture from Mayor Adams. He should be really talking to the Biden-Harris administration on this. There is a reason why blue cities like Chicago and New York are buckling under the pressure of this migrant crisis. It's because that administration has made every single state in our country a border state.
But it's an election year, and they're also buckling under the pressure from the administration to get on board because, you know what, it's an election year. We can dispute this later. Lastly, kind of the breaking news here, Mehek, that No Labels Party not going to run a third candidate. So it looks like it's RFK. It looks like it's an RFK is really the big disruptor in this thing. What do you make of that decision, and what do you make of this going forward?
Well, I don't think No Labels was going to have a sure thing or a strong candidate. I think RFK is going to be interesting, though. I've said this before. He is truly going to disrupt Biden's base. Biden is hemorrhaging voters, his black voters, Hispanic, all his traditional hardworking Americans are now turning away from him. They may be looking at RFK, which is going to help President Trump, or they're going to go towards droves to President Trump because he had the strongest economy and we had the strongest border under the last 4 years, the Trump administration. So this is truly a great decision. No Labels needs to go away. We have a two-party system, and that's how we're going to succeed in America today.
Mehek Cook, Jessica Milan Patterson, thank you both. In the wake of this week's dead